All right, so we have 100 grams of starter mixed into 350 grams of lukewarm or room temperature water. I just get it from the tap. I'm doing 400 grams of all-purpose flour here, and then I'm gonna do a teaspoon of salt. We're gonna mix that all together, cover it with a dry kitchen towel, and leave it for about 30 minutes. And after that, we will mix it a second time just to kind of to let it settle down some, and then we will leave it. So right now it is about 7:30 or 8 o'clock in the morning, and I will check in with you. I'll show you the first mix and the second mix, and then I'll show you what it looks like when we are ready to shape the pizza dough. This is what the pizza dough looks like, having just mixed it together the first time. It is wet throughout, it's uniform, but it's not kneaded. I haven't worked at this more than maybe a minute at the most. So now I'm gonna cover it with a towel, just a dry towel, and after about 30 minutes, I will mix it a second time. I have a rubber spatula for that task, and I'll just set that there. But this is mostly a no-knead method. You are letting the natural yeast do the work of stretching the dough for you. So I'll catch you at the second kind of turning. All right, so this pizza dough has been sitting for a little bit over 30 minutes. I'm just gonna stir it and kind of scrape down the sides some, and then I'm gonna let it sit and do its thing for the rest of the day. It is almost 9 o'clock in the morning right now, and I'll probably start shaping it around 1 o'clock, 1:30 or 2:30. I'll show you what it's gonna look like then. Actually doing 2 today, so I'm just scraping it down up the sides, kind of turning it over a little bit, but not really a whole lot of work to it. Forming it all together. And then I'm gonna cover this back up and let it hang out. All right, so it is now almost 2 o'clock. This is what the pizza dough looks like. I'm gonna show you how I divide it out and how I set it out to do its kind of second rise. So you see it's really come up quite a bit. It's still pretty wet and sticky. But yeah, let me grab some flour and the materials that I'll need to actually shape this dough before I'm ready to use it as pizza. All right, so I have my 2 pans set out here, and I put just a little bit of oil on each of these. This is avocado oil, but you can use whatever your favorite neutral oil is. And then in here, I just have some more of my all-purpose flour. I'm gonna sprinkle it around the edges of my pizza dough, and then I'll show you how I shape it. I do sprinkle straight through the middle because I am gonna divide this in half, but I'm just kind of going down the sides and kind of curling underneath as I go and loosening the dough. It is gonna be pretty sticky, but the flour can help. Divide it in half. You see how fluffy it is. And I'm gonna plop one half of it onto that blob of oil, the other half over here. And then it's the same method for both sides. I'm just kind of gonna tuck it underneath so that the oil is kind of on top. About like so. Other side, same thing. And I want the oil to be on the top, and this is kind of tucked underneath. Now, you don't have to cover this if you don't want to, but I will. I'm gonna recover it with my cloth. My cloth has gotten kind of impregnated with oil over time, so it looks kind of gnarly. You don't actually have to cover it. I do, just because sometimes with the doors open or windows open, we get little friends coming in that are attracted to the sourdough aroma. So I like to keep that covered. I'm gonna let that rise until it's time to start shaping the dough, maybe 2.5, 3 hours, depending. Here is our pizza dough. It is about 4 o'clock in the afternoon now, so it's risen for about 3 hours. And I'm going to start by making a little indentation in the dough for both of them. And then I'm gonna put some oil in there, and then I'm just gonna be gently spreading the dough out with my fingers. Now, in Jim Leahy's book, The Sullivan Street Bakery Cookbook, he has you stretch out the dough, like put your fingers under it and pull it out. I don't do this. I just find that putting oil on my hands helps it to not stick. And then I just press it out with my hands until it is the shape that I want. Next thing I'm gonna do is preheat my oven to 450 degrees. And then I'm gonna decorate this dough, I'm gonna go ahead and put on my tomato sauce and my cheese and my toppings while the dough is raw, and then it goes in the oven and it bakes for 15 minutes, and then I rotate them within the oven, and then it bakes for another 15 minutes, maybe 30 minutes total, and that's it. So I will see you along that process. Here they are all stretched out. So if the house had been a little bit warmer, the dough might have been a little bit stretchier and I might have been able to get a little bit further on it, but as it is, that's pretty good. All right, here they are all done. Just came out of the oven. Only thoughts here, I try to do not a whole lot of sauce because it is a wet dough to begin with, but you can see that it's kind of coming up off. I haven't tried to loosen this at all. This is just coming out of the oven. It just can peel up, which is great. I'll use probably a long offset spatula to get these off and put them on a cutting board. In terms of my personal toppings, I just do like an easy tomato sauce, I do cheese, and then I do all kinds of veggies and pepperoni, as you can see on top. I've tried a lot of different combinations of toppings. Y'all have fun with it. If you have any questions, please do let me know. The recipe will be listed in the description box. Thanks so much, and I hope this helps. Bye.